character is all about. It gives you a philosophy. It gives you a way to conduct yourself. It gives you a way to make forward journeys. It gives you a strength in terms of having a family, having a relationship. So the strength of character is like a foundation to a building. If you really look at it, we always say in management, if there is a particular problem, we should be able to identify the root causes of that issue or that problem we are facing through a process of asking 5 times why. The moment you ask in 5 layers the why question, you come to root causes. First and foremost, I think what we should understand, the business landscape is completely changing or already changed, and the expectations of the industry is also changing very rapidly. So the question is that if you say low employability, it's a question of what are we doing about it? Why it is that? Because we also should understand the famous saying of the most known coach, CEO coach in the world, Marshall Goldsmith, what got you here won't get you there. Now, with COVID-19 coming in, I think the expectations will change more rapidly. The matter of fact is that the avenue streams, for example, a shoe designer or an apparel designer is also a job, for example. It need not be an engineer, a doctor kind of thing. But what happens is that with that pressure, we put, students, the parents put the students in areas where they are not interested. Maybe a doctor, maybe an engineer. So that is also one of the reasons why they don't show interest. The most important part is the soft skills, the cues. We all know the cues. Let me just put the cues here. Just look at it. I mean, many of the cues are known to all of us. The IQ, EQ, SQ. But there are DQ also. Let me say IQs, of course, everybody knows the intelligence quotient, the emotional quotient, the societal quotient. DQ is the domain quotient. Like, for example, if you're an engineering graduate or a mechanical engineer, your domain knowledge should be very, very important. There are 2 other things put here, which is not very often talked Q in terms of employability. AQ is the adverse quotient. How many of us are today accepting the reality of COVID? How many of us have changed our lifestyles, changed our way we look at life? Many of us have, because you face adversity through what? Resilience. So it's very important that adversity quotient, because nothing goes in your life as per your plan. So as students who get out of universities think that, look, I am from IAMA, as Professor Krish introduced. We graduates are, okay, we have this big hat or big collar kind of a feeling that the moment we get out of the institute, we should sit in the CEO's table. It never happens. We all go through adversities in our lives. We learn from our experience and then become better leaders, better managers with better character. So that is the AQ part. And the AQ part has become very important in this COVID-19 days. RQ, relationship quotient. Finally, at the end of the day, everything comes in terms of how good you are in managing people, how good you are in establishing relationship, how good you are in continuing with the relationship. So these are the, we say the 6 Qs. Your definition of success and my definition of success may be entirely different. See, what we say is the meaning and purpose of a person in his life dictates his definition of success. Success may be 2 pages in a book of 500 pages of failures. So that is what you should get prepared. That's how you define the character behind the success. And similarly, the definition what we say is that the ability to go from one failure to another failure with 2 conditions, with no loss of enthusiasm and no loss of energy. So it depends on how you define your success. I will quickly take the philosophy of the ant here in terms of driving this philosophy. See, everyone forms a philosophy in their life. As per Aristotle, at the age of 52, you form a philosophy, because as I told you, success is a journey. It keeps on building up. But even if somebody in this group, parents may be 60 or maybe older than that, like me, don't lose heart. Few years here and there doesn't make a difference. They keep on trying. That is the hallmark of a character. That's the hallmark of a philosophy, that you never quit. And the saying goes that Ant's philosophy is you will win if you don't quit. And again, winners never quit and quitters never win. It's very important that you create assets and during these times. And I'll tell you, people who are surviving this COVID-19 are people who have not acted like the grasshoppers, who have created certain asset base so that they can survive the most difficult times. So character is the means to transform ideas into achievement. How do you do that? I was talking to Swamiji before I started. Education do play a role, but the basic character has two elements. One is the nature, another is the nurture. So when you say nature is what is born with, but does that stay always? No. You have a nurture situation where the parents play an important role. Then comes the education. The formative years of a child, the character is getting molded very well. And then you get a good education system, join a good institution like Amrita. Refusal is where you refuse to be cowed down. Refusal is you, like the ant example I told, you refuse to be cowed down by the roadblocks. You refuse not to put the best effort in accomplishing what you want to achieve. So this is the first imaginary character evaluation gauge. You should be able to refuse the attractions or the what life gives many times, and you should not be complacent. So the meter, you can check whether you are half full or half towards complacency on this side, or you are on the refusal side. This is one of the fundamental things. The gauge 2, I think many of us managers know about this. Many of us know about it. The D is on the right side and the M is on the left side. This is another word for decision. People don't decide fast. We go by maybe. That's M. Like you come to a crossroad and you start thinking whether I should take the left or the right. Then you say maybe left, maybe right. But you don't really decide. Procrastination, delayed decision making is one of the character traits. You should be decisive. Once a decision is taken, your character will decide that decision is taken like the ant. The destination is known to go on that path. The third gauge, the last but one gauge, is the want and the apathy. Again, want means you have decided this is what I need. If I want to be the best architect or a best landscape consultant in the town, I will do all the reading required to be the best in town, the go-to person. That's a want. Once you recognize that want, I will be the best in what I do. Is the W of this gauge. Apathy, kuch bhi chalega. I mean, I will find my life. Sometimes my parents have earned some money. I will live out of it. That's apathy. I mean, they don't want to make a mark for themselves. They don't have much of meaning and purpose in life. So this W and A is the third gauge. And the final one, of course, the P and F. You promise yourself to be the best in town. You will have fear. And many of us have two fears. Fears of uncertainty, which is there now when nobody can stop it. Even I am overwhelmed. I also don't know what is going to happen to the world. But you promise yourself, COVID, I will convert that into an opportunity and start a new life. The fear is on the other side, the fear of losing, the fear of uncertainties, you get overwhelmed, but promise is what going to make you. So basically these four gauges, you are able to evaluate ruthlessly, fearlessly, and prove to yourself and say that are you practicing this? That will be the time when we get really going, and the character formation, the foundation of what you do in life is very important.